Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another exciting, amazing beta read. Today, it's going to be pretty interesting because we've got something for you guys that actually has not been done on this channel yet, but I'm glad that we get to do it today. We are beta reading, a poetry book. Whoa, oh my goodness. So, wow, this is going to be very interesting. Have I beta read poetry books before? Yes and no, because it was not necessarily a beta read like this, but how can we say this? First and foremost, let's get some plugs out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe for writing advice and beta reads. Oh my goodness. Some more plugs. Let's get it going on. This is the Yamikage, my first book ever, library edition. What the? And of course, Not Every Star in the Night. Wonderful. Oh my goodness, so scary. And of course, Bright Dreadful Sun, my third book, many more on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, feel free to pick those up. You don't have to, because today we're not here to talk about my books. We're here to talk about your books. Oh my goodness. So, ladies and gentlemen, 5-star beta reader, ghostwriter, editor, published author, obviously. And what are we doing here? We're doing a beta read, but when I do Fiverr beta reads, when I do the other beta reads, they could take hours and hours and hours. But what these are, for people who haven't seen the channel yet, they're kind of compartmentalized versions of that. Nice compressed speed beta reads. So today, we actually got the sequel. So I want to give first a big shout out to Bainad Dawadi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. The people mispronounce my last name all the time. So I'm hoping I'm getting that right. Yeah, for giving us permission to read this and provide feedback, which should be pretty interesting. Now, hopefully there won't be too much lag. Lag is not good. Anyways, nonetheless, my CPU usage is pretty high today from the other day's videos. Gotta delete them. So, I'm on the impression there's about 100 different poems in here. So, for people who haven't seen the channel, I'm looking at this as if just fresh eyes. I'm reading it with you guys at the same time. As if I'm, just kind of like a reader picking it up and, looking at it and reading for the first time. Just kind of giving my thoughts. Wow. So, I come from a musical background. I've actually released a lot of rap songs, believe it or not. I've released, probably damn near close to 100 rap songs. So, when you're writing raps, depending on your style, you're utilizing a lot of variety of rhyme schemes, utilizing beats. You're utilizing this large encompassing vocabulary. Sensory detail is very important when you're writing poems and when you're writing raps. Very interesting, too. Really get that emotion in there. So, writing raps is similar to poetry, but here's the thing. Raps usually tend to rhyme consecutively. Those are called monorhymes, as opposed to limericks and haikus, for example, which don't necessarily focus on rhymes. You don't see too many haikus and all types of that stuff in rap music. But here in actual legitimate poetry, you'll see sonnets, Shakespearean sonnets, various things. I have a good handle on these, because when I do my raps, I look up rhyme schemes. So I'm going to also take this kind of musical approach to this because I've been writing songs for so long. Anyways, but also we have to take the literary aspects as well. We can't neglect maybe elements like plot structure. Okay, because these are all compartmentalized to one. Maybe there's going to be some characters in the mix. Maybe some setting, but most importantly, we're going to focus on detail. Okay, we're going to get some nice detail here. Because in poetry, you want to portray emotion and do it through detail and subtext. So, works featuring Bainad. Okay, so these are the ones that Bainad has actually written himself, it seems. Poetry Soup, ILA, these pages. I recommend bullet points, or I recommend maybe some sort of stylized indication. Also, a table of contents right here. Let me double check. Yeah, they're not there. I would confine this to a table of contents. It looks a little bit cluttered, so double check that. Looking, keep on looking. Works by Sydney. Good job, Sydney. Keep on moving. Keep on writing. Dark One. So you see a little bit. So this is what I want to see. Where you see Organic Ink Volume 1. So when you're writing poetry, you utilize counts. Same with music too. You utilize counts. So let's say you got a 6-count sonnet. 6-count sonnet, or maybe haikus are famous with the syllables. So the counts usually often incorporate the syllables. So with that being said, you see there, it's got that nice linear presentation. I like that. Let's keep moving, keep moving. Of course, this isn't even the thing. This is just like the table of contents type-ish. It looks very cluttered. I would reformat this. I would literally just confine it to a table of contents with page numbers and whatnot. Usually I get these by the first draft, so maybe this is still in that infantile drafting stage. We will see. Get moving, keep moving. I'm going to try to keep this one under 20 minutes. No part of this book may be replaced. Ladies and gentlemen, before you send off your work, good. Include copyright. Very important, very important. And okay, here comes the table of contents. So what I just saw, I would recommend eliminating all that and placing it into the table of contents. Literally, like, kind of combining them. You know what I mean? I'm not even seeing the page numbers yet, so that tells me that this is not edited in totality. So with that being said, I recommend putting, you know, let's say a different section, like a section break for Bernard's work and the other author's work. Very important, very important. Maybe bullet points, that could help. Because right here, it's just kind of just this, you know, kind of irrelevant list. I'm hoping there's like a lot of central themes too. I'm hoping there's one central theme that could have wound up a lot of these poems. Pretty good. And then we see a lot of these that are capitalized, like really in your face. This doesn't need to be there. Oh, Paradise Lost. That's a good book. I just bought that book. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we're not going to be able to get through all of these, but we're going to get through a nice amount. Or else my whole computer will blow up. Okay, so we got the first poem. What I would include is a foreword. That's exactly what I would include here. So I would get the table of contents in there, write a foreword, almost like an introduction in a way where you're saying, okay, you know, this is the poetry that we write. You know, this is why we like poetry. This is what this poetry is about. You know, just giving the audience a personal connection. So I recommend writing that in like a foreword. Really nice one too. Really nice foreword. You can also show that contrast between being able to construct narratives as well as construct poems. Very cool. Let's double check. So the first poem, which I believe I scrolled past, is called, and oh, I love the stylizing, by the way. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times people utilize dinkuses. They could style their dinkuses the way this gentleman is doing, these authors, with the stylized dinkus. Very good. Okay, let's go. I'm probably going to start lagging at this point, so I'm going to keep it really short, this one, especially since I can't get through the whole thing. Also, there's not a lot to critique, in a way, the way I usually, but we'll see. The first poem is called, yes, it's already going so. The Meaning of Life. Okay, Meaning of Life, very interesting. So I'm hoping this can have philosophical concepts, some more existential, themes. So why do you get your life to live? So, okay, first and foremost, let's take it slow. Why do you get your life to live? So this, if we were writing a song, or maybe just right now, I would write 8A. So we got 8 counts and then rhyme structure starting with A. This life is less to live because many. So that's 9B. So that'd be 8A, 9B. Problems are arising like world wars and. So now we're moving out. Okay, so this is not going to be a monorhyme. This is not going to be a consistent rhyme. This is going to be an ABC. There's a word for that. I believe it's limerick, but I don't think so, actually. So that last count is and. Things like corona that killed many. So we have many and many rhymes. I would reformat that so you can find a different word. Open up that vocabulary. So with this being said, this life is less to live because many. That's a continuation of thought. So I would recommend closing the thought. The poetry is about being concise, specific, and getting to the point. Less is more often. And that's the beauty of poetry. It's this confined art. If you can say a novel's worth of message in one sentence, that's what poetry is. That's why it's so beautiful. It's really just combining things. So with that being said, what I don't like about this presentation, there's a lot of continuations. I would say solid thoughts. Aim for solid thoughts. No, there's very little grammar. A lot of run-ons. Include your grammar. Include your grammar in your poetry. They could also function as beats. So good works. Okay, take a deep breath. People tell me I gotta do that all the time. Good works. Even if I feel that you are going to die, you must be clever about life. See, another thing too, poetry is about symbolism. It's about symbolism. It's about metaphor. It's about a lot of this detail. So what you don't want to do, what we don't want to do in poetry is to tell. We don't want to tell. We want to show. So when you're writing novels, it's a very similar concept. When you're writing novels and you're constructing your narratives, you want to show, not tell through details, subtext, and all that. But when it comes to poetry, you really want to nail that detail because you've got such a limited time to do that. So every line, get that sensory detail, the smells, the aromas, the taste, the this and that. Get the emotion. Get that focus on the emotion and don't tell. That's another thing. Don't be, because when author's telling, it's kind of getting like poked a little bit. Is he doing that every single line? No. but we'll see. Even if you feel you are going to die, you must be clever about life. Like, that's a tell. So help people by giving them money as well as food. See, I like the message. That's really nice. As well as food and clothes, and care for them. Those are corporal works of mercy. There you go. To be a good herd, time is giving you an opportunity to grab it fast. You have many types of mistakes. Time to purify your life. So I love the emotion behind it. I love the emotion. I love the message. But notice it's like a poke in the side with all the telling. It's like, you do this, do that, do this. It's like getting bossed around. We don't want to do that. With poetry, we want to kind of create a picture. We want to like basically paint a picture with words, which is very interesting. So definitely double check these poems that have a lot of tells instead of shows. Try to reformat things into shows, paint the picture, as opposed to tells, which is, it almost gives it that narrative kind of feel. This things you will be disliked and fall down. See, like the grammar's off. Double check your grammar. Editing, fall down. This is if you see, author is utilizing some grammar forms, but we're neglecting a lot of periods and proper breaks. So double check that. I'm seeing some, but not all. It's like inconsistent. Double check that these don't become run-on sentences, because once you start utilizing, punctuation and grammar, then you start putting the rules in place, So you don't want like 3-4 line run-on sentences. So double check. Do these things, do all. And then we got the capital letters on the other one. So we got a rhyme here with all, and all. I would reformat that. There's a website called rhymezone.com. Love it. Really good. So to give you near rhymes, monorhymes, direct rhymes. So you could definitely find a lot of different rhymes for all. All is like There's 7 common syllables. 7 common syllables. I'm sorry. There's 7 common vowel sounds, and those are the most common. That's what I would do, is look up the most 7 common ones, or the most common ones, and then play off those. So is one of the most common ones. So fall is like all, a-u. So double check words that are like that. You actually picked the right person for this. I actually technically write poetry all the time. Without doing it. I do and I don't. Because I rap fast. I rap the way I talk. So literally one song of mine is probably like 2 or 3 of these pages. So I'm doing the same thing in a different way. But also, I've written direct poetry many times in the past. So we'll double check. Next one. You work for others, but they don't remember you. Okay. So stray away from definitives as well. Try to stray away from definitives. Paint the picture. Let the audience kind of like infer. You care and love about others, but they don't care for you. We got you and you rhyme. So that's going to be a mono rhyme, but we want to elevate this. So you work for others, but they don't remember you. That's 12. 12A. You care and love others, but they don't care for you. Okay, 12A, 12A. We got a mono rhyme. Very good. Okay, so we got direct syllables in 12, and we have AA. I would reformat this so it's not you, not 2 U's. No need for that. You can think good thoughts about them, but they don't think good thoughts about you. Sometimes like that. Sometimes that's true, but here's the thing: is sometimes it's not true. The author starts this off with a definitive, so I would try to open that up a little bit more, so it becomes an inference. Feel jealous of you. Yeah, the grammar's a little bit off too. Double check that grammar. It can kind of take away. It can kind of add dissonance. You know what I mean? Because poetry is so concise. It's such a concise art. Oh, also, you'll see this in a lot of Shakespearean poetry as well. As well as Dante's Inferno, Dante Purgatorio. You'll see a lot of semicolons. So here, authors, when you can substitute periods and all that for semicolons, this works very well in poetry. So I would go back, double check where you could put a semicolon, kind of a continuation of thought, separation before you go into more of it. I could use a lot of semicolons over here. If you read Paradise Lost, they use a lot of semicolons. Dante's Inferno is one of my favorite poetic works. So you always serve others, but those who don't serve others, you are an unknown man to all. Trying to get some, so that has a very distinct central message. Open up the imagery. Poetry is a lot about imagery. You want to get that less tell. You want to get more show in there. Birds. Like, for example, birds. What about their sounds? What sounds do birds make? They chirp and all that. So I would love to see sensory detail here. That's the number one thing. Let's look at this. Poetry for an exact standpoint. it uses neurological thinking, okay, just like everything. And it uses, it's a neurological process. So the words that we use can trigger certain areas in the brain. Believe it or not, really interesting. So sensory detail, feel, touch, taste. These are things that light up the mind, especially if you're in a theta state of mind. So when you're reading, sometimes you just get into a theta brain state of mind where your mind is accepting more things, the subconscious accepting more things. So you want to make sure you're giving it candy treats. Sensory detail is the big candy treat. Let's double check. Birds, you are flying in the sky. Birds, you fly in the sky, but you don't have the paint. By the way, my computer's not moving because it's so clopped up. Birds, you are free in the sky. Okay, there you go. Birds. Birds, you fly in the sky. Birds, you are free in the sky. So he's addressing the subject. He's talking to birds. Pretty interesting. I do that too. Hello, Mr. Bird. Birds, you don't have any pain. That's debatable. Birds, you fly and travel off to far places and in the rain. Okay, that's pretty good. You're rhyming sky with sky. I wouldn't do that. Is that forbidden? No, it's not forbidden, but you want to see elevation in poetry. Like with poetry, you see it. You don't want to see that. Like it's like you're waiting for that beautiful imagery. So focus on imagery, like birds in the sky. In the sky, you could elevate that, maybe with a color, maybe a sensory detail. In the endless sky, birds you fly in the endless sky. See, that even counts. Birds you fly in the endless sky. 8. Also, sometimes you want to really get even. You want some even numbers sometimes as well. But go ahead and adjectives, get them in there. Birds you're free in the sky. Birds you don't fly on a plane. A lot of definitives. You want to paint a picture. Very good. The ground can harm you. Build your nest. Trees are your persons. You will feed them. If they care for you, die for them. You will fly air to collect foods. You will gather, father, and mother birds. You are the best. That's cute. You are the best, and you will protect. Yeah, like a lot of this grammar is a little odd. So be a good father and mother birds, comma, you are the best, comma, and you protect yourself and the baby. Like, double check this. This could use a lot of reformatting. I'm already seeing that already. Different kinds of sounds. There you go. Different kind of sounds. Utilize your sounds. I would actually reformat a lot of this, and if you can nail the sound after sound, like every other line gets sound, that would be awesome. I would love to see that because, birds are songbirds. That's what they call the songbirds. Oh, my goodness. So we'll do 2 more just because my computer is freaking out. We'll see, because I've got a lot of pages. This manuscript is a lot of pages. I want to get to some of the other authors' ones too, though. So we'll do magic, then I'm going to fly down there. So we'll probably do 3 each. Magic creates you, magic rears you. So here we go, beginning on a definitive again. Okay. Not forbidden, just something to kind of like reassess. Magic creates you, so we're basically telling. So be careful with the tells. Same thing goes for novels. A lot of people, you don't want to tell too much. You can learn things from magic. You can laugh and cry due to magic. Interesting. It makes you laugh by seeing wonderful things. Reformat this. Get the proper, elements in there. I would make it so like every line is a stop of a thought, a period. But then we don't get the second line you see here. It can make you laugh by seeing wonderful space things capital. That just doesn't fly like the bird. I mean, if you talk to certain editors, they'll be like, yeah, whatever. But I don't recommend it. To me, it's causing dissonance. Like I'm looking at that and it's taking away. I mean, even if like let's say the editor is like, well, you can do that. Maybe double check. Because like I'm reading this and I'm going like it's like a stop sign. It goes, it makes you laugh, seeing all the wonderful things, and I go, there's a grammatical error, and then I gotta kind of like rebounce. Definitely reformat all that. You cry by seeing death and problems. Definitive. You are the player of the magic game called Problems, and your life depends on how you would. See, people have different outlooks too. Like I don't think like this at all, but it's good to read how somebody else perceives, reality. I handle the magic by killing people or by helping people. All have this kind of magic. Some show this magic in singing, like me. Some show in dancing, sometimes like me. Some in sports, other aspects. I think I like this one the best. Magic. You need to expose yourself because you are a hidden hero. All living being, thank you. The thing, poetry can lift up other people. That's another thing I would love to see in this book is having the authors lift up the reader, like constantly lift them up, like make them feel good. I would love that because you're the hidden hero. Like that right there sticks out to me. I'm like, okay, that's really awesome. All living beings have this magic like trees and animals. Don't feel sad. Be happy with what you have. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think magic is the best one. So with that being said, I'm going to go down to, what is the author's name? I'm so sorry. I forgot her name. And I can't scroll too fast because my computer is going so slow. But nonetheless, what I'm seeing there, a lot of definitives, a lot of tells. So get your eye on the prize with those two. We're painting pictures here. Utilize the sensory detail. We saw some of that. Get out of the habit of like telling people like this is how it goes. That's how it goes. This. Let the reader infer. Okay. Let them like basically set them up for success so they can make the inference themselves. Because the thing about poetry is a lot of people can interpret it different ways. So once the poet or the author is telling them how to feel, it's kind of, they say the same thing in novel writing. The exact same thing in novel writing, but with poetry, it's more important. Because when you're writing a novel, you're telling narratives. Sometimes it's absolutely necessary. But in poetry, it's never necessary to tell. Or, well, rather, it's seldom necessary to tell. Because we can look at nightmare. We can. The reader is supposed to infer. So let's wait for that. Man, I'm hoping there's gonna be a break where it says where the other author begins. That's where I'm really hoping. Because then I gotta kind of scroll back here. Let me double check. Go back up, people. So the Sydney. It starts with Dark One. So the table of contents, we don't have headers. We don't have page numbers yet. Get those headers in there. Get those page numbers. Dark One for Dark One Sorrow. That's pretty cool. Dark One. Okay, so I'm seeing these. We got like these large or what? That's a different writing style. Let me see. Oh, by the way, my screen is over here. Lover. Where's Dark Ones? I want to find that. What was that? That was pretty cool. It was a multi-page thing. Look at 1, 2. Look at that. There's a name for a novel that is all poetry. I forgot what that's called. Well, obviously it's a poetic work, but there's a specific name for that, and it's getting that feel. I actually like this. You guys can't see it, but there's this page right here. Let me try to double check. It's 3 pages of the same poem. I would rather see all of that as the whole thing. As opposed to these shorter bodies. Double check, but maybe not. We'll see. Let's see. Dark Ones, excuse me. I'm trying to find Dark Ones. Dark Ones. The Dark Ones. Oh. I would literally set a clear line because I'm looking through my the paper and I'm trying to find, like, I hope there's a page break that says Sydney starts here. That's what I want to see as a reader. Because I'm on page 100. And let's double check Victorious. Some of these have a lot of different pages. So what we're seeing here is a lot of different pages. So where are you? Such Beginnings, chapter 1. Oh, okay. So they're breaking off into like mini novels, like flash fictions, or I guess flash poetry. Really interesting. Out of sorts though. I'll try to stick to one central theme. Let me double check. All right, so we got a blank paper here. What could this be? Help. Yeah, there's 100 pages. I definitely cannot get through all of it. Double check. I want to get to Sydney's. That's what I really want to do. So, author, if you're reading this, nice page break that says Sydney begins here. I would love something very clear like that, very clear. Because even if we're in the middle of the thing, like I'm already forgetting, and I haven't read the whole book. So double check. So now I'm going to have to refer back over here. The table of contents doesn't have page numbers, so for me it's very confusing. Double check that. Simple fix. I would fix this area here as well. Meaning of life. So now I got to go back to Sydney and see like a few. So Dark One, Forgotten Places, Organic ink, Such Exquisite, Melting Pot. So there's a lot of them. Skiddly-doo. Let's try to find organic ink because there's 3 of them. I'm going to try to at least get one. Try to keep this video under 30 minutes. Very good. Organic ones. Organic ink. Organic ink. Let's see. Going. Scrolling. So for people who can't see, what I'm looking at right now is a taskbar, a bar of 100 pages going up and down, just kind of. It gives you a mini preview, and I'm trying to like really kind of scope in. What I would love is like a one or a few page that was just like a nice clear distinction between the two authors. I would love to see that. Would be very helpful in this case right here. So like if I'm reading, if I'm reading as a reader and I'm like, well, where's Sydney's poems? You know, you want to double check where are they? You know, so double check that. Like around 100, we get these big paragraph bodies or big novel bodies. Such broken beginnings. Looking for organic ink. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Let me see. Organic ink, please. On my page 122, there's just an absent page. Double check that. So around past 100, we're losing this format of these short poems, and we're breaking off into what seems like novels. They don't even seem like poems. Try to stick to one format is my recommendation. So it seems like it stops, and then there's this big novel. Very confusing. Let me double check. Chapter 3. Okay, so it's almost like a bunch of poetry with a novel in in the midst. Pretty interesting. Wow, didn't expect that. Chapter 4. Man, get maybe some better stylizing for the titles, because I'm looking at the titles here and they're very similar. Okay, and then we get to the the author page. They're good. Okay, so Lebanon. If you're 13. Oh no, you're not 13. Are you? No, he graduated with a master's degree. Good job, dude. That's really good. Yeah. So watch out. It seems like you got a lot of really good. He has written in more than 1,000 books. 1,000 books. Man, I almost find that extremely hard to believe. But I'm not going to say no. Okay. I would say double check the writing style. Definitely. Focus on showing, not telling. Getting that sensory detail, especially when you're writing poetry, very important. Let's try to get to these novel works here. And then we spend 4. There's towards the end of it breaks. I'm pretty sure this is Sydney's writing style, where it breaks off into these long bodies. A lot of good stuff here. Don't get me wrong. Although look how much time I'm spending just trying to find the place. Make things very clear, especially in a poetry book. Let's double check. Where are we going? There we go. Okay, such broken beginnings. We'll just start here. Okay. So let's double check. I might assume this is Sydney's work. We'll see. Mom has been sick for a while now. Period. That could be elevated right there. Bada bing, bada boom. So mom, go into we're starting with a character. Elevate the character profile. Open up with the aesthetic. Really try to open up that aesthetic. Maybe start with setting. If you could fire on all cylinders, that'd be great. Maybe some sensory detail. So what he's doing right next, or what she is doing right next, is elevating the character profile slightly with appearance. Unique characteristic is circle under the eyes. Very good. Talking to herself under the breath. A bit strange, but pretty cool. Arguing with people I can't see. So she may be schizophrenic, mental illness may be the theme here, central theme. This is a bit out of sorts from the other content in the book. I'm trying to figure out how all of this is related. This morning she took me to a place where everybody was on the ground. Needles. Ouchie. Oh my goodness. So this isn't even poetry. So we're going away from the central theme. This might as well be 2 different books, 2 different novels. Right there, I frowned here. That can go. So what you want to do with our dialogue is we want to push the plot forward. Double check that we have these, where you can get rid of fluff. Starting on conjunction there. Double check. Take me out for a physical breakfast. Maybe take that out. Physical breakfast. Maybe there's no such thing as a rhetorical breakfast. Or a etheric breakfast. So double check that. You'll be able to go anytime. Good, I'm hungry. Yeah, so good can go. I'm hungry. She smiles at me. Could you use a metaphor there? You could use a metaphor right there. Out of my face, and she screams to me. Now I know she's like my mom, but she's mine. So we're writing first person perspective. So elevate the main character. Get that main character in and get him in fast. Yeah, because if we're in a first person, a lot of people make this mistake too. They don't elevate the main character, but they end up elevating a lot of different characters that are background characters and all that. Double check that if you're in first person perspective, elevate that main character, elevate that narrator. I want to be able to relate to them. Relatability, memorability, uniqueness, very important. A lot of tells not showing. I'm going to give a conclusion right after this. I asked for one chapter. Got a lot of stuff. But that's good. That's good. I love that. It's like when you go to like Johnny's and they're like, let me get an order of fries, and they're like, yeah, just a little bit, and then you pour the whole thing of fries out there. It's like awesome. I knock on the door. So how does it knocking sound? You know, like you could describe that. I would like to see a lot more sensory detail. I would like to see some conciseness here. I speed read as well. So what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a scroll. You guys are gonna likely see like more of a slowing moving thing. I stand there. Maybe you could elevate that, having neither cookies nor chocolate bars and a feeling of panic blossoms in my chest. That's nice. I like that. It's a really nice thing. As I hand him the envelope, okay, moving plot slightly. What's this? Maybe, what's this? Why is he giving me this envelope? That would be better. I don't know. I admit my mom, like that can go. Shit. See, that doesn't really do anything. That could go. She's not coming back. I asked tentatively. What I like about this is elevated vocabulary. I like to call this maybe level 2 vocabulary. Level 3 is just, normal, and then level 1 vocabulary is like scholarly. I love when it's got that like level 2 vocabulary right there in the middle. Not too much, not too. So tentatively is like really good. I like that. It's almost that. I love seeing some of that. Authors, they can make the mistake of trying to really elevate their vocabulary so much. You don't need this expansive vocabulary, and I'm glad this author is using it in moderation. Very good. All right. You knew Brennan. This, also the subject matter, the central theme of this novel, or this little like novel body, this little flash fiction, unclear. I would like to see the genre, the plot type. I'd like to be able to figure that out very quickly. Rather, I would have it presented very quickly, is what I would recommend. Focus on the central theme. And I like the novel as a whole, the poetry involved as well. I would love to see a central theme. It seems scatterbrained a little bit, scatterbrained. The content in it, very interesting. But definitely there's a lot of elevation could be utilized. See, like this chapter transition in could probably be more encompassing. I like to tell people to decrescendo and crescendo right back in, kind of like a fade out, fade in. So he opens the door and steps back. Like that's a continuation. Like who is he? You know what I mean? So you want to basically open up like almost with a new subject, a new aesthetic. A lot of times people will kind of clue in the last and then present the forward. Right here, it almost seems like a continuation. So double check that. What I love is the sensory detail. I like the sensory detail. I walk in and I'm assaulted by the smell of cigarettes. Okay. Interesting. It's not much of an apartment. Make yourself at home. Okay, so the presenting setting. Elevate your setting. I shrug. Okay. I'm going to have to cut this off here. I want to kind of just really read through this. Basically, the same criticism I would give over here. Dale Evander. That's a really good. I love seeing a specific name. I haven't seen a lot of those in this little body here, and I'm speed reading a little bit. You guys are getting it a lot slower than I'm seeing it. All right. Hold that now. Dad winces. Very interesting. I take a sip of coffee. Now, maybe describe the taste of the coffee. Go ahead. This doesn't seem related to the poetry. That's a thing here. Okay, I'm really trying to find a lot of things to lift you guys up with as well. So I'm not trying to, beat on these concepts. I really want to find a lot of glue that will lift you guys up and walk away from this like feeling like you did it. And I think you guys are on the right way. You guys are on the right path. Just a lot of scatterbrained material. It doesn't seem relevant. Like trying to find a central theme, especially with this plot structure genre. I want to be able to figure those out, especially by the inciting incident. Lay that strong foundation. So this is almost being critiqued as a novel. The poetry is being critiqued as poetry. And thank you for the very cool opportunity to do that. I should probably start beta reading more poetry. That'd be cool. Cool. Both adults laugh and share a look. Watch out for the tells. He's bringing, a lot of dialogue. The dialogue to narrative balance is a little bit off. I would like to see more full-body narratives. That could help clear things up. Watch out. You're utilizing your dialogue to move the plot forward. Running, explore the house and backyard. Interesting stuff. What are we going? I'm going to speed back. I actually could read faster here. Same stuff I normally say. I smile, SpongeBob. Like, there's a lot of unnecessarily dialogue. Wake up with a guilt of fear. It's raining and I'm soaked. A lot of telling right there. Tell. Careful with the telling. I'm seeing that as a central theme throughout this. And Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, well, that's nice, big 30-minute slice. We went over the poetry. We went over the novel-ish area. So with that being said, I hope that latter part was written by Sydney. Very cool, very interesting. Let's go back to here. Help. So, wow, so many things to recommend. So many things to give feedback on. What I love is the fact that you're able to kind of present this poetry. I love the presentation. I love the fact that you're utilizing stylizing. It was really nice to see that stylizing there with the little dinkus kind of lacy type of breaks. Really nice. And I think it really contributes to the overall aesthetic of the book. I love the fact that you got a co-author. Sometimes that's very good. Edited by Sydney Dupre. I think this needs a re-edit. This, in my opinion, this should all be re-edited, reformatted. There's a lot that can be done here. As I was scrolling down, it was very confusing to see what was going on. I would love a nice, like, clear break. Maybe I didn't see it, but a nice, here's Sydney's works, and here's Bynot's works. I would like to see a clear distinction. I would love to see that. That would help me so. I spent, like, maybe 5 minutes even just doing that, just trying to find the difference, and I never even found it. I definitely got to the novel at the end. So with the poetry, utilize your rhyme schemes. Know what the differences are between limericks, similes, haikus, monorhymes, couplets, Shakespearean sonnets. There's so many. Definitely know how to utilize your counts, your beats, your counts. Your rhyme schemes usually can be constructed with an A, a B, a C, a D. So when I do poetry, this is how I do it. I go, okay, I don't even think, I don't think about the subject yet. I go, okay, let me write a Shakespearean sonnet. I'll go 8A, 8B, no, just an example, 8C, 8D, and then I'll repeat the process. I'll basically construct a map. I'll construct the map and then kind of fill in the blanks. A lot easier. So with the poetry, double check. There's a lot of telling, not showing, and that's happening throughout the entirety of this body from everything I saw. From the novel, a lot of tells. From the poetry, a lot of tells. And, you know, the novel is one thing, but when it comes to poetry, really try to paint that picture. That's what poetry is all about. It's about getting this large message in a short amount of time. So also at the same time, use inference. You know, let the reader infer. Don't tell them, especially during poetry. We don't want to be told. Like I was reading that and I felt like somebody's telling me what to do. I was getting bossed around or something. And I mean that in a good way. Just definitely double check. Well, maybe not a good way, but I would say double check that you're painting a picture as opposed to telling. Because think about it this way, like when you give somebody a picture, a painting, or when you look at a painting, 1,000 different words can be said. You know, like that we're looking at a painting and we're going, okay, well, you could say 1,000 things about this painting. The same thing goes for poetry. When you read the poetry, you can say 1,000 things about that poem. But when the author is telling you, it's like somebody's at the art gallery, you know, telling you what this is. You don't want that with poetry. You want people to infer. You want people to expand, get that rich detail in there. Sensory detail. These are candy treats for the reader. Get more emotion in there. I actually saw a lot of emotion in the poems, which is really nice. This table of contents should be reformatted. It's really scatterbrained. It's just it doesn't seem aesthetically pleasing. And there's a lot of like different like editing. I saw there's 2 editors. I find that interesting. Like these capital letters, like all that can go. Like that can be reformatted to look beautiful. Like that looks beautiful. And then when you get to live, watch these things. So a lot of editors will say that, you know, we're doing the page breaks. Poetry could be structured differently. But it's off-putting. So 2 things can happen. Number 1, re-edits, reformatting, but also at the same time from a rewriting standpoint, get those short continuations. Watch out for, you know, when lines are going over and over and over again. Like here, problems are rising worlds and things like Corona that killed many people and take a breath. And there's a triple conjunction. So double check that. Very good. I think the novel needs a lot of work. The poetry and the novel needs a lot of work, but a lot of really good stuff in the mix. Definitely keep on writing, keep on practicing. You're on the right track. I would definitely just do some redrafting, maybe some re-edits as well, and have that really focused. You know, maybe rewatch the video a couple times. This one, I was a little more on the critical side. I don't like being on that side. I like being right, nice, and even. So what else can I really want to lift up the author too, especially Sydney at the end. You could tell that she was really trying to portray a message. She really tried to really tried to construct a story. And I think what was trying to happen there is the story within itself was supposed to be poetic, like have this poetic message. Wow, I would almost, man, I would love to see that in poetry form, like the novel actually in poetry form. That would be awesome. Or maybe incorporate Like if I would love this novel, this book to have a central theme. That's the thing, is like a central theme. Like I read the poem Birds. The Birds. I would love to see some sensory detail there. And this video is 40 minutes. Wow. I didn't expect that. But yeah, some reformatting, as you saw in the middle of the video. It took me like a long time just to even find the separation. And I actually never did find it. It should be clear as day. A lot of these things should be clear as day. Get a foreword in there. Very cool. That would definitely help me too. That would help also the reader kind of like understand what this is about. If I opened the book, went to the table contents should be reformatted, by the way. This says it's edited. There's no page numbers. There's no Roman numerals at the beginning. That should be reformatted. If you want me to edit this, I'd consider it. But I'm really busy, really so busy right now. I'm like in the middle of like a million, fucking like 3 ghost writes and, man, a few beta reads that are written out. Whatever. Oh my goodness. There's just a lot of things that are going on right now from my end. But at the same time, this was fun to read. This is fun to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep a watch out for Bynod and Sydney. Let me double check their last names so you can check out their book. This is the second book, I believe, The Power of Words. Power. Words have a lot of power, so definitely make sure you're choosing the right ones and painting the picture. Get your message across through subtext. That's very important in poetry. So double check where there's poems that are like jabbing you in the, like telling you like this is how it is. That's how it is. Aim for painting a picture. As opposed to having the art gallery person going, this is what this is about. Like, no, let us look at the picture and let us figure it out. You know what I mean? So check it out from Bynod Dawadi and Sydney Beaupre. Very good. And yeah, keep it real. Like, subscribe, wonderful. Keep on writing, keep on practicing. Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Keep a lookout for these 2 authors. They are kicking it. They're kicking butt.